I got a Daisy feeling. I got a Daisy feeling. Yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I am JABYBHAI, and we are going to look at KRAVEN the Hunter, the official Red Band trailer. However, because this is YouTube, and YouTube will demonetize me if I show too much violence, there will be some parts of this trailer that are censored if it's too gory. I'm gonna try my best to leave most of that intact, untouched. If you wanna see the uncensored version, if you join our Patreon or memberships of this YouTube channel, you'll be able to get access to that. No problem. So if you guys haven't done so already, please do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Trailer to the trailer. All right.
My son, never show mercy. They are prey.
Shit.
We are predators. Boys, your mother is dead.
She died because you sent her away.
She was weak, sick in her mind. You know my business, yes? Power is about strength. If you show weakness, you will give our enemies an opening. Shoot. Shoot.
Ah! Oh.
He is weak, like his mother. Leave him.
What happened that day?
I stared death in the face, and for the first time, I saw my true self.
Tell me about this hunter. They say he uses a connection with animals to track his prey. And once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
There's 6 of us, and only one of you.
There's 6 of you now.
Ah! Ah! Oh, shit.
Why do you hunt?
My father puts evil into the world. I take it out.
Oh! Damn!
Some kind of honor. You are exactly like our father. Just another man hunting for a trophy.
We're murderers.
That was a cool shot.
You don't get to do that to me anymore.
Mr. Taglin? Mr. Taglin? Where's Mr. Taglin?
Oh, you're standing in him.
Oh. Yeah.
You're a goddamn lunatic.
Oh, you just figured that out now?
There is an animal in each one of us.
Don't you want to know why they call me the Rhino?
How are you guys feeling about this interpretation of KRAVEN the Hunter? My first impressions with what little I know of KRAVEN the Hunter, because my exposure to him has largely been like the animations, the Spider-Man 2 trailer. So I'm going off of limited data here when I give my analysis of this. The first thing I was expecting was an accent.
I asked for an equal, and this is what you find.
And that didn't come out. I guess it's fine. Wondering how you guys feel about that. The violence, I'm wondering if the Red Band trailer is a taste of what we will get, meaning the violence will be even bigger, more graphic in the film itself. Red Band only gives you so much bandwidth for what you're allowed to show on YouTube, or if you're allowed to show whatever the heck you want. I have no idea what that threshold is for when YouTube's like, yo, you cannot put that out there. We're taking that down. I would imagine with something like this, you're going for an R, you could go even harder in that direction and make it even more violent than what we saw here. the tone that they're going for feels a little bit like it's still speaking to that sort of Marvel vibe. While it's violent and while it's, you know, serious in action, you're still gonna get a degree of comedy in there. This is dealing with some interesting stuff, though. I don't know we've seen to this degree in other Marvel stories so far that I can recall off the top of my head, namely the aspect of him dealing with his dad in that way. This is me, again, speaking from near total ignorance because I don't know his backstory all that well. It seems to me that at some point he's got to fight his father. I mean, they showed Rhino in there as a nemesis in the film. That's an interesting dilemma. That's an interesting conflict to have to deal with in this story. For anyone who's come from a weird, non-traditional relationship with their parents, what I mean is an abusive parent. If you're coming from that kind of background, maybe you find this more relatable. Like, you are at that kind of conflict with your parents to the point that it's like you're, you know, completely at odds with them. You're estranged. And when you have contact with them, it's a fight. Maybe not with the fisticuffs or the violence, but it's a fight nonetheless. His backstory is interesting. He's coming from animals, but I guess that's the case with a lot of superheroes. I mean, you know, Spider-Man, you got spiders, Batman, you got bats, and Superman, you got soups. The one thing I wish for, because of the tone it seems like they're trying to strike, I wish that the overall color palette was a little darker, a little bit more punchy or contrasty. Right now, it has a sort of brighter look to it that feels kind of like Venom, almost like Spider-Man. It feels like you want to go more towards the direction of what they did with something like Blade, where it had a more darker feel to the whole thing. And I don't mean in terms of the violence or the tone of the story, I just mean the look of it. What's interesting to me is the logo. I'm not sure if that's how it looks in the comic book covers, but the font reminds me so much of Black Panther. That's not a bad thing. I mean, they're both animal things. Panther, lions. I don't know what a KRAVEN is, but it's not a terrible thing to borrow from if they're borrowing from Black Panther. I like Russell Crowe. Who doesn't like Russell Crowe? I think that he brings a certain gravitas to the role. He's a great actor. I have no idea if he's phoning it in or if he's, I mean, it's hard to say from the trailer. To have him as this father figure in the film, or literally a father in the film. For me, he's kind of the perfect actor for that kind of role, to have this sort of intimidating presence. There's something in the way that Russell Crowe carries himself, the way he looks, his voice, all of that speaks to a man who could be a very intimidating figure to look up to as your dad. He brings that quality to the table. Again, I don't know shit about KRAVEN the Hunter from the comics. As far as I can tell from this story, he is actually a great pick for that role. So Aaron Taylor Johnson, my first exposure to him, like most of you guys, was Kick-Ass, and then I saw him again in Godzilla. Between Godzilla and this, I honestly don't remember where else I've watched him. This is the third, like, actual memorable impression I have of him since Godzilla. Physically, he definitely has the KRAVEN the Hunter look. I just looked at some of the comic book images of him and I'm like, oh, actually, like, he actually really fits that. The only thing I'm wondering about is, like, the way he talks. I had a different impression of how he should, like, speak and how he should carry himself in that way. It doesn't remind me of what I just saw in Spider-Man 2's video game trailer or what I remember from the animation. It feels more normal and less of a character. Does that make sense? I would imagine, and I'm sure most people are guessing this that have watched this trailer, that by the end of the film or the after credit scene, the obvious direction to go would be to evidence that he's going to have an encounter with Spider-Man at some point. The picture that's being painted here is he's almost like a hero, and that makes it kind of weird to think that he's going to be in a conflict with Spider-Man at some point because he's a bad guy to Spider-Man. I'm wondering how they're going to handle all that. This is a very, very smart strategy by Sony because nothing is a coincidence. They've got KRAVEN the Hunter in the video game and he's got his own film. So you're going to get exposure to him in the game, and tons of people who are Marvel fans are playing Spider-Man, are going to play Spider-Man 2, the video game. And then he's got his movie coming out. It's a nice parallel. The interpretations of the character seem different though. I'm really wondering how people are going to feel about Aaron Taylor Johnson's version of KRAVEN the Hunter. Because my exposure to KRAVEN is very minimal, I can adapt to this and I can accept it. I can imagine how, like, diehard KRAVEN the Hunter fans are going to feel about this. Anyway, that's for the comments. That's for the internet to decide, not for me to speculate. I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. Cautiously optimistic after Venom 2. You guys let me know your feelings in the comments below. Please subscribe, hit that bell icon, please, all notifications, and vote this up. I'm JABYBHAI. Peace out.